we had some discussions about Colorado.
Yeah.
Do you want to do your take first, or do you want me to start downloading my rapid fire take?
I think people have figured out what my take is. They succeeded already with this hire because people are excited about a program that no one was excited about before.
Yeah. Like it almost feels like house money, right?
Yeah. This is the entertainment business. You got people to show up. No one was showing up. And again, I just named a few. Name me the coaches that you could have hired realistically at Colorado. Because Nick Saban wouldn't have come.
Not realistically.
There is no one Colorado could have realistically hired who would have generated anything close to that response.
And I wonder how many programs or athletic directors are like kicking themselves of like, we blew it. Or like we were late to the party, or we should have seen this coming.
Well, here's the thing. I think if you're like Auburn, it's not the same thing because
you don't need the same thing if you're Auburn, though.
Right. As long as you win, it's a packed house. They love you.
Yeah.
They're donating money.
But how many programs were on the verge of dead or, were on their deathbeds that could have used this bump?
I mean, Colorado was the one that needed it the most. Arizona State, you can say maybe them, but I think Kenny Dillingham's a good fit there. Would there have been more people
I also still think
at Sun Devil Stadium with Deion Sanders?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Arizona State is wounded and injured. I don't know if they were as close to dead as Colorado.
Right.
Like he brought them back from life. So, okay. Dave sent me this text last night, and I want to know what your thought process is. He said, I would love to see what Deion Sanders would do at a program that doesn't have a ceiling, which is an implication that he believes that Colorado does. Facilities, location, all the things that Colorado traditionally has working against it. Deion would have to overcome. And I was thinking about it, and I think I agree with him. But let's just say everything comes up Deion for the next 3 or 4 years. Like, if everything goes perfectly for this man, could he raise Colorado to a point where the ceiling that we perceive exists today is no longer there?
He can raise the ceiling. He can't eliminate the ceiling.
Like, do you think that if he was there for 20 years, he could win a national title there in year 15 or 20?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. At that long, yes, I think you can do. Clemson's a good example of that. Clemson
was always a good program, though.
It was always a good program, always had a very passionate, devoted fan base, always acted like an SEC school, even if it wasn't in the SEC. So, but it was historically mediocre. I mean, between that national title in 1981 and when they became a power again, they were pretty mid.
But it's like even things like their stadium holds 50,000 people, and it's kind of an older needs renovations type stadium. Like, I'm just like saying, like, just normal things that you would expect from a powerhouse program. Like, could Deion be the catalyst that fixes everything and makes Colorado a hotbed, or will it always be, holy crap, look what Deion did, despite the fact that he's at Colorado?
I think if you're there long enough and you're winning, you can build into whatever you need to. I just think if you win there are going to be so many people throwing jobs at you that you're going to take one of the ones that doesn't have that kind of ceiling on it.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, I guess like Colorado could be a life calling. Like, because to me, I was thinking Deion has it really made right now because he's at a place that you could conceivably recruit to. It's a Power 5, at the moment job. It's in a beautiful location, and he has a runway that he probably would not have in terms of being stuck with at 90% of other places because they were in dire need of him.
This also means you have time because, again, if you watch the spring game, you're looking at it and going, so I'm looking at their schedule now. TCU, Nebraska, Oregon, USC, UCLA, Oregon State, Utah. Like, these are teams that roster's going to struggle a lot with.
Yeah.
See, because they're probably not physically big enough to play with a lot of those teams. I think some of the skill talent they've brought in is going to be very helpful, but they've got to get better on both lines of scrimmage. It's not going to be as quick of a turnaround as Jackson State was. So he's going to need time. Yeah.
So, but he gets that time because it's like, I think he would need that time everywhere, but I don't know if every program that could have hired him would have been as understanding of it as Colorado will be. Like, I think as long as Colorado has fan buy-in and people paying attention and talking about them, that's like ahead of the curve of what they were ever going to be anyway. So they can sustain more 6 or 7 lost seasons in the future than
this is what otherwise. I say about programs though that kind of need the pub. When they hire a boring coach, Why did you do that?
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing you can do.
Because even if you're going to stink, you might as well make more money while you're doing it. You know?
Exactly.